1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We on. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Salute to all the members in the building. Only facts. What's going on? Only facts. Boston, I see you, Trooper in the building. Yeah. Chilling in the building. I see you. What's going on, y'all? You know, I had to get on here on the positive page real quick, but I will be after this, I will be doing an after show on another page. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Yeah, but what's going on with y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate the pull-up. Salute to the members. Salute to the genuine supporters. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody watching from behind the scenes. Salute to everybody watching from the other platform. Salute to everybody who catch this on the replay. How my sound sounded? Henny, what's good? Peoples, I see you. Yeah, so I'm not sure who's tuning in from Holla and who's tuning in from, you know, the other page. So salute to the members. Salute to the members. That's the only way I know if you're on Holla, salute. I'll see a little membership. I guess it's a star. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I ain't gonna be on here for too long. But I wasn't supposed to go live on the other platform, but I had something planned, but it didn't go how it was supposed to go. So I said, let me kill two birds with one stone. Two birds with one stone. Miss Pamela, Zad in the building. Good morning, Zad. What time is it? Oh, I forgot where you at, Zad. It's 11. It's 11:32 p.m. out here. I think Zad is in the UK, so I don't know what time it is out there. Wait, hold on. I'll be. Give me 1 second. Let me drop this. Members only link in case anyone wants to become a member. Give me 1 second. Yeah, hold on. 1 second. Do y'all see my avatar? Y'all don't see my avatar, do y'all? I just looked on the YouTube. Wait, hold on. I don't know why this happens. Give me 1 second. Let me change my avatar. Hold on. Do y'all see that one? Or should I put on this one? No, I'll put on this one. Can y'all see that? All right. I think I see it. Hold on. I don't know why my avatar don't be popping up for some reason. Let's see who else we got in here. Uptown Romeo in the building. If you want to join the members only, hit that link pinned to the top of the chat. Wait, I gotta hold on. Okay, so salute to Miss Pamela. She sent me this story right here. Let me know if y'all can hear this. It was a build in the Bronx. Let's see what Skynet got to say. Hold on, let me bring this up. Now I know people who live over there, but I don't know what building that was. But let's see what Skynet got to say. Hold on.
Cleanup and recovery underway after explosion. Yes, your summary is largely correct. Here are the...
Can y'all hear that? Could y'all hear that? Oh, we got a new member. Salute, Henny. Appreciate you, my brother. Could y'all hear that good? Okay. Let me play it again.
Bronx building collapse. Cleanup and recovery underway after explosion. Yes, your summary is largely correct. Here are the key details known so far about the incident. What happened? On October 1st, 25, just after 8 a.m., an explosion rocked a NYCHA public housing high-rise in the Mitchell Houses complex on Alexander Avenue in Mott Haven, Bronx, New York. ABC 7 New York, the explosion appears to have originated in or near the boiler / heating system area, which caused a chimney ventilation incinerator shaft running up the side of the building to collapse. ABC7 New York, the collapse resulted in a tall vertical gash around 20 stories along one side of the building, with large amounts of brick, debris, and dust falling to the ground and even landing on a nearby playground. AP News, impact and response. Miraculously, no injuries or fatalities have been reported. AP News, several apartments, notably along the F and G lines, wings, were ordered vacated as a precaution. ABC7 New York, more than 140 residents were assisted with relocation, hotels, shelter, etc., while investigations and inspections continue. ABC7 New York, utilities were shut off, gas service throughout the building was turned off by Con Edison, and hot water heating were disrupted. ABC7 New York, crews have been removing loose bricks and remaining parts of the chimney carefully, often manually, to avoid further structural damage. ABC7 New York, a safety fence/cordon has been established in the collapse zone. Streets around the area are affected. ABC7 New York, building and structural inspectors are evaluating which parts of the building remain safe and whether residents in unaffected areas may return. Gothamist, broader context and concerns. The building is part of NYTA's Mitchell Houses, constructed in 1966. AP News, October 1st is the traditional date when heating systems are switched on, and some officials speculate that the explosion may have been triggered by lighting a pilot or testing the boiler system. CBS News, the event has reignited concerns about the long-standing neglect, underfunding, and maintenance backlog across NYCHA properties. Many residents and officials are calling for greater investment to prevent similar incidents. AP News, building records show that 205 Alexander Ave, the affected building, had prior violations for unsafe facades from the DOB, Department of Buildings. CBS News, if you like, I can look up the most recent updates later than Octsekakuk or
Yeah, man. So there's a lot of in the Bronx, especially. There's a lot of old buildings in the Bronx, man. That covered another story, but I ain't gonna get into that. But you know, rest in peace to those people, those children. Ming, what's going on, my brother? But I didn't hear if anybody being hurt. Seems the shaft from the trash had a gas leak. Oh wow, okay. Okay, Miss Pamela. Yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, if y'all look at it, if y'all Google that, it's bad. Like if it looked like the whole side of the building split open. Yeah, man. So listen, y'all know I'm streaming from 2 pages. If you want to come over to the Holla page, leave the drama and the foolishness over on the other page. I'm not sure who's on this page, who's on the other page. But salute to the members. I know if you're a member, you're over here. What's going on? What's going on? 1609 is in the building. But yeah, I'm not going to stay on here too long. I just want to cover that real quick. Yeah, I will be going over to the other page in a next minute or two. So yeah, but I just want to cover that real quick because I said I was supposed to get on here today. I wasn't supposed to get on the other page, but I was supposed to be promoting another show, but maybe tomorrow. I'll talk about that when I get over there. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. The only one who thinks that was planned. You think that was planned? Me? Well, now listen, you know the Bronx, back in the days, for the insurance and stuff like that, they was burning down. That's why we got the name the burnt down or broken down Bronx. Back in the days, a lot of the landlords was burning down buildings, to collect the insurance and stuff like that. I might cover that one day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it used to be a lot of abandoned buildings in the Bronx. When I grew up, it looked like a war zone in the Bronx. It looked like somebody dropped a bomb on the Bronx when I grew up. But they fixing it up. They fixing it up. I was speaking to somebody today when they was building new houses in the lots we used to play in. Rest in peace. I lost one of my childhood friends when we was 10 years old. We was like under the houses playing Ninja Turtles, and he fell down a pipe like 150 feet. Yeah, and that's when I met. I think Dinkins was the mayor at that time. That's why I met Mayor Dinkins. He came to the neighborhood, but yeah, the Bronx. We used to play in that lot all the time. So when they start building houses in there, we continue to play in there and stuff like that. But I wouldn't put it past nothing. I wouldn't put it past nobody. Gregory, what's going on, Gregory? Yeah, yep. Let's see what else. Skynet got to say. Well, this is Chat GPT. I call it Skynet. That's the name I gave. Bobby Ramos, what's going on, Bobby Ramos? Appreciate the story, Miss Pamela. Appreciate it.
Here is what I found in the latest updates about the October 1st of 2025 gas explosion partial collapse. Recent developments and recovery status. 1. Cleanup and demolition of remaining chimney/shaft debris. Crews have been carefully taking apart what was left of the ventilation in that chimney structure, brick by brick, to avoid further damage. ABC7 New York, because of concerns about vibrations, they are avoiding heavy electric tools in parts of the structure. ABC7 New York, loose bricks and other hazards are being removed from the facade and surroundings. ABC7 New York 2. Restoration of utilities services. The entire NYCHA complex's gas service has been shut off out of an abundance of caution. ABC7 New York and NYCHA has begun bringing in portable boilers to restore hot water, a process that may take on the order of 18 hours or more to hook up properly. ABC7 New York, until gas is reconnected, residents are being given hot plates for cooking, and other interim measures, water stations, mobile boilers are being staged. ABC7 New York 3. Displacement, inspections, return of residents. About 38 apartments on the affected F&G wings have been issued full vacate orders as a precaution. ABC7 New York. Over 140 residents have been temporarily relocated. Hotels, shelters, with assistance from NYCHA and Red Cross. ABC7 New York. Some unaffected parts of the building have been cleared for residents to return pending structural inspections. CBS News, however, many tenants report anxiety and fear about re-entering, even in areas deemed safe, given the dramatic nature of the collapse. ABC7 New York 4, investigation and structural evaluation. The explosion is still under investigation. Officials are exploring the possibility of a gas leak or the ignition of a pilot light when boilers were being turned on for the heating season, AP News. Several residents report having smelled gas in their apartments or in common areas before the explosion. Gothamist, the building, 205 Alexander Ave in Mitchell Houses, had prior violations from the Department of Buildings, including for unsafe facades. CBS News outlets report that before the disaster, the Mitchell Houses complex had accumulated nearly 20 violations, including a stop work order, fines, and delayed inspections. News 12, Default 5, political, resident, and systemic reaction. In a tenant meeting, NYCHA officials apologized and assured residents of 24/7 support to restore services and rehouse displaced families. ABC7 New York, elected officials and tenant groups are demanding increased investment, oversight, and repair of NYCHA's aging infrastructure, warning this event illustrates deeper systemic neglect. ABC7 New York, there is pressure on federal, state, and city authorities to allocate more capital funding to public housing, especially heating boiler systems. CBS News, if you like, I can check for today's status, October 3rd or 4th.
Well, it seemed like nobody got injured. All praises to the Most High. Yeah, but Mitchell Projects, yeah, like I said, I got people in there uh back in the like the mid like 2000, was it like 2005, 2004. My nephew actually got shot in those projects. Yeah, man, and he moved up, he moved up to the Poconos with me. Um I think it was 2004, 2003, probably. Yeah, but he moved up to the Poconos with me, man. He's doing good, man. He got kids. He's doing good. But yeah, when he was young, I think he was probably like 15 or 16 um when he got shot. But he's doing good now, man. But yeah, my little nephews are off the chain. They off the chain, but they all grown up now. But when they first came out to the Poconos, man, they was causing terror. They was causing terror. Blackout, what's going on? So yeah, I'm about to get up out of here. I'm about to go over to the next page, but I'm gonna see what they say. Any updates? If they got any updates on the story, then yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Salute to the members first and foremost, the genuine supporters. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody watching from behind the scenes, from the other page. Salute to everybody who catch this on a replay. It's your whole Holla.
Here's a more up-to-date picture as of Oct. the 3 to the 4th, 2025. Latest status and recovery. Cleanup, demolition of collapsed shaft. Crews have started carefully dismantling what remains of the ventilation chimney shaft that collapsed, doing it brick by brick to reduce risk of further structural damage. ABC7 New York, loose bricks on the facade are also being removed, and a safety fence cordon remains around the collapse zone. ABC7 New York, restoring utilities, services, portable boilers have arrived on site. NYCHA expects heat and hot water might be restored once properly hooked up later tonight, meaning Oct. 2, parts of the building not directly. ABC7 New York, gas remains shut off to the entire complex as a precaution. ABC7 New York, resident displacement, re-entry and concerns. 38 apartments along the F and G wings remain under full vacate orders. ABC7 New York, more than 140 residents have been temporarily relocated, with NYCHA and the Red Cross assisting. ABC7 New York, some residents in unaffected areas are already being cleared to return pending inspections. CBS News, but many residents express fear and reluctance to go back, citing anxiety about structural safety. One tenant said the return date has shifted from Friday to Monday, illustrating uncertainty. ABC7 New York, investigation and causes under review. The leading theory is that the explosion was triggered when lighting a pilot for the building's boiler system during heating system activation, the traditional turn-on day often being Oct. 1st. ABC7 New York, officials are investigating whether there was a gas leak or malfunctioning boiler components. CBS News, records show that the building had prior violations, e.g. unsafe facades, and a partial stop work order issued earlier this year. ABC7 New York, advocacy and political pressure. Tenant groups and elected officials are calling for expanded funding, oversight and maintenance throughout NYCHA's portfolio, pointing to this incident as symptomatic of aging, underinvested infrastructure. ABC7 New York, at a meeting held with residents, NYCHA officials apologized and pledged 24/7 support and transparency. ABC7 New York, human interpersonal stories. Some residents whose homes were near the collapse report continuing stress, panic attacks, and difficulties securing safe alternative housing. ABC7 New York, one family displaced, includes 2 children with disabilities. Their medical needs and belongings are in limbo pending a safe place to return. CBS News, some residents have been seen entering the building to retrieve critical items or assess damage.